So, Eddie, big win for Sugar. Just what do you make of his performance there?
Yeah. I mean, that's how you cut the ring off against someone who's trying to box on the back foot. And by the way, I thought Rikiishi was brilliant. Like, I don't see a lot of 130 pounders in the world that would beat Rikiishi. Sugar did it, he nearly stopped him in the 10th. And fair play, Rikiishi come back in the 12th. I thought the score was a lot wider than 117, 111 was about right, 117, 112, but brilliant competitive fight. This kid is one of the most exciting fighters on the planet, always trying to knock out his opponent. He's going to be a superstar in Mexico.
Yeah, you said that before the contest, you want to make him a superstar in Mexico. How do you do that now? How do you push on?
By boxing on the big show, give him a homecoming. You box him in America on a big show. Obviously, you got, Anto Kakachi's just called him out, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But that's a fight. Ray Ford, our other guy, probably that's the best fight in the division to make. So, yeah, he's got a huge future, and he's just 27. So nice and young, and a very humble man. Really exciting.
Yeah, that Ray Ford fight, when would that likely come? I'm guessing not next.
He was due to get married, and I told him he's got to put that on ice. So I think we'll be fighting August, September. We are in talks for another fight with Ray as well, but we'll have to see. There's a lot on the agenda. We love the unification with Navarrete as well. 2 Mexicans would be an incredible fight, but massive win for him and big win for us as well. In the zone, it's a great night in Japan.
One thing I wanted to ask you about is Anthony Joshua. There's some rumours he's having a 3-fight deal with Riyadh season.
Yeah, no, it's not true. We are discussing actually a 2-fight deal with Riyadh season. Yeah. We've been doing that. His Excellency said that on the night of Canelo when we had our meeting, and that's the plan really. We want to box sometime this year, October, November, December. See what happens with Eduardo, see what happens with Fury, and if we don't fight those guys, we'll fight, and then maybe we fight one of those guys next year.
Jared Anderson and Dylan White were rumoured to be one of those.
2 guys that have been discussed, but nothing concrete.
Yeah. And one guy I wanted to ask you about, Josh Taylor. Yeah. But now, obviously, we were talking about Jack Catterall, that trilogy. Is that maybe over now? Do you think?
Yeah, look, Jack's got a big fight coming up against Harlem. But before Josh, it was a good fight. It was a competitive fight. I thought he lost the fight. But, sometimes it's hard being so inactive. The more I talk to fighters, you start to realise that activity is so important. And Josh has been out, a year? I think Jack Catterall's obviously boxed Barboza in that time. And you've got to be active. And it's a difficult decision for him now because he probably feels like he's still got a little bit of unfinished business. But when you're losing and I think Echo is better than British title level, but he is a British welterweight champion. It's tough to take.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to ask you about is the Crocker Donovan 2 rematch. Have we got a date for that yet?
We're working on it for September. So I believe we're pretty much there with both teams now. It'll be a massive fight for Belfast again. And looking forward to getting it done.
And then finally, the schedule for the rest of the year. Have you got anything planned?
We've got obviously this Friday we're in Guadalajara. Then we've got obviously our guy Justice Huni fighting Fabio Wardy next week. Then we're at Madison Square Garden for Hitchens against Cambosis. Then we're in Birmingham for the big show there, June 21st. Then July 5th, of course, the big show in Manchester, Harlem Eubank against Jack Catterall. July 11th, Katie Taylor against Serrano. July 12th, the Ring Magazine show. July 19th, Jesse Rodriguez Unification and Diego Pacheco against McCumbee. Yeah, that's the week after. And then we're going to August, which we're mapping out now. So it's a mad schedule, and really enjoyed the trips to Japan. And we've got a new world champion, so it's going to be a sweet flight home.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do more shows out here? Obviously, the prize fight, we had that.
I think boxing's getting really big out here. And listen, I dealt with Mr. Apache and Mr. Honda. You couldn't meet 2 nicer gentlemen. We've been looked after so well. And that's always, when you go home, you appreciate that. And, boxing in Japan's doing big numbers. I'm sure we'll be back. We'll be back in September for a new against Ahmed Ali when we go 2-0.
Thank you for your time, man.